Good day everyone. Our topic for today is all about stem cell therapy, wherein it is also one of the important discoveries of science and technology to help human and the society. So let us first define what is a stem cell. Stem cells are called the master cells, and stem cells are cells that are undifferentiated. So what do we mean by undifferentiated? It means that cell is yet to develop into a particular variant, or also it is a cell that is going to use in a specific purposes. So aside from that, the stem cell is a cell that has the ability to continuously divide and differentiate or develop into a various other kinds of cell and tissue. So as you can see in the picture, we have different kind of cells in our body, and we are going to differentiate the function of stem cell from those different kind of cell. So the body is made up of about 200 different kinds of specialized cells. All cells in the body come from stem cell. First picture is that we have the skin cells. So the function of skin cell is to protect our body, the muscles is to contract, while the nerve is to send signal. So how about the stem cell? Stem cell do not have any specific function because just like in undifferentiated, they do not have any specific function kasi po stem cell could be either a skin, a muscle, a nerve, and an organ. We can create a stem cell or we can use stem cell in order for us to create another cell. So, yun po yung ibig sabihin nun. They do not have a specific function because pwede po siyang maging skin cell, muscle, nerve, and many more based on kung ano yung purpose na gagawin natin sa kanya. Just like in our definition of what is a stem cell. Next is that, if you're going to look at the diagram, is that we have a single cell wherein if it replicate itself, nag-divide, nag-multiply, we can create another form of cell. We can have a skin, we have a neurons, we can have a blood cell, we can have a white blood cell, we can have another organ. So just imagine the power of stem cell. So just a simple or a single stem cell, kapag nag-multiply and divide, we can create another kind or types of tissue or body in our body. Next is that, how about the characteristic of stem cell? So, stem cell is a blank cell because they are unspecialized. Katulad nga po ng sinabi ko kanina, they do not have a specific function. Magkakaroon lang sila ng function based sa kung anong gagawin natin sa kanya. It is also capable of dividing and renewing themselves for long periods of time through proliferation and renewal. They have the potential to give rise to specialized cell types or differentiation. Okay? So this is also one of the important characterization of stem cell. So stem cell have a self-renewable, meaning a cell that has the ability to continuously and divide. So because there are some instances in our body na hindi nagfa-function well yung ating mga cell. Okay? So dahil po through the use of stem cell, kaya nating mag-regenerate uli. Through the use of injection or intake of stem cell, kaya niyang tulungan ang cell ng isang tao na mag-regenerate, na maayos yung ating body. Also, it has the ability to develop into several different kinds of cell or tissue or pluripotent. Because po, as you can see in our medicine, when it comes to medicine, masyado pong limited ang available donor organ. So, inakita ng mga tao, why don't we try to create an organ or a tissue instead na tayo ay bumibili ng mga organ from the other people. Okay? So, yun po yung ability o yun po yung way kung bakit nagkaroon ng stem cell. It has the ability to develop into another kind of cell or tissue. Okay? Next is that repair. Where there are some instances kung saan nasusunog ang balat natin, nagkakaroon ng malfunction ang mga organ. So, because of stem cell, it has the ability to return function to damaged cells in the living organism. So that is the different characteristic of a stem cell. Next is that, let's discuss what are the different kinds of stem cells. First is that we have the embryonic stem cell. come from a 5 to 6-day-old embryo. So just imagine a baby being fertilized in the womb of a woman kung saan ilang days pa lang. And bakit natin siya nakukuha ng stem cell? Because that embryo has the ability to form virtually any type of cell found in the human body. Another is that we can have a stem cell in an embryonic germ cell, derived from the part of human embryo or fetus that will ultimately produce eggs or sperms, gametes. So meaning to say, when you heard the word germ, meaning we're talking about gametes, and egg and sperm cell. While adult stem cell is that yung literally adult na, halimbawa yung mga body natin or yung ating mga available stem cells sa mga adult parts or adult human. This is undifferentiated cells found among specialized or differentiated cells in a tissue or organ after birth. Based on current research, they appear to have more restricted ability to produce different cell types and to self-renew. Okay? Also, let's have the classification of stem cell. So, we have another is pluripotent. Ano naman po yun? It is able to differentiate into almost all cell types. So, an example is cell derived from mesoderm. So, when we say mesoderm, meaning it is the middle part of our body. We can get a stem cell in our cardiac muscle, skeletal, red blood cell, smooth muscle. While in endoderm, it is more on internal. Pwede natin siya maklasify as lung cell, thyroid, and digestive. How about ectoderm naman po? Meaning it is all about external layers of our body. We can get a stem cell from skin cell of epidermis and neurons on our brain. Next is that we have totipotent, meaning it has the ability to differentiate into any other types of cell. Anong example? The zygote form at egg fertilization. While in multipotent, it is able to differentiate into a closely related family of cell, meaning hematopoietic stem cell. From the word hema, meaning blood. Okay? Oligopotent, it is able to differentiate into a few different cell types. So, an example is lymphoid and myelin stem cell. So, from the word lymphoid, meaning lymphocytes, so mga white blood cell and other kinds of blood cell. While in unipotent, we have able to produce only their own kind of cell, which is the muscle stem cells. So, as you can see the different pictures, so through the use of stem cell, we can get a stem cell from a brain wherein kaya natin ma-extract yung neuron. While in intestine, we can have enterocytes. While in liver, we can have hepatocytes. In heart, we can have a cardiac cells. And in bone, we can have osteocytes. Next, we can understand kung saan natin pwede or makakuha ng sources of stem cell. So, first is that we have the spare embryo. So, what are spare embryo? It is a stem cell from a leftover embryos stored at fertility clinic. We can also get a stem cell from special purpose embryo, so created via in vitro fertilization for the sole purpose of extracting stem cell. So just imagine in a laboratory creating a new individual, creating an embryo just to extract the stem cell na meron sila. Also, we have a cloned embryo. So, from DNA cloning, it is cloned in lab using somatic nucleus transfer method, while we can also get a stem cell from aborted fetuses. So, yung mga napalaglag na pong mga baby. And stem cells from fetuses aborted at early development stage, while we can also extract a stem cell from the umbilical cords of a baby. So, once na naputol na yung connection ni mother and the baby through umbilical cord, pwede natin na siyang kuhanan ng stem cell. Next is that adult tissue or organs so obtained during surgery. So meaning after po surgery ng isang patient, nakita ng mga expertise of doctors na pwede pa tong gamitin para makuhanan ng stem cell. So that is the reason pwede din po natin siyang kuhanan. Next is the cadaver. So yung pong mga body parts or mga dead parts or dead body, pwede din ba natin siyang kuhanan ng stem cell. true neural postgenitor cells from human postmortem tissue. Next is that, let us have the stem cell history. In 1998, researcher first extract stem cells from human embryo. In 1999, first successful human transplant of insulin-making cell from cadavers. In 2001, President Bush restrict federal funding for embryonic stem cell research, while in 2002 is the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation International creates $20 or 20 millions fundraising efforts to support stem cell research, and in 2002 California OK stem cell research. In 2004, Harvard researchers grow stem cells from embryos using private funding. In 2004, we have a ballot measure for 3 billion funds for stem cell. So as you can see, nakikita natin yung pagkakaroon ng development of progress of stem cell. Okay? Next is that we can have a simple recall about our previous slides. So this is an activity which is bibigyan ko lang kayo ng recall or recap kung ano yung mga natandaan nyo dito sa slides na pinag-usapan natin. First is that, let's have a question. The process of giving rise to indefinitely more cells of the same cell type. This is the ability of the cell to continuously divide. A. Is it pluripotent? B. Self-renewal? C. Repair? D. Multipotent? Okay, I will be giving you 5 seconds para i-check kung tama nga ba itong naunawaan nyo sa ating discussion. Next. Okay, check nyo kung tama ang sagot nyo. It is self-renewal. Second, it is the ability to return the function to damaged cell in the living organism. A. Is it pluripotent? B. Is it self-renewal? C. Is it repair? D. It is multipotent. So what is your answer? Next, repair ang sagot. Next is that, it is the ability to develop into several different kinds of cell tissues. Is it pluripotent, self-renewal, repair, or multipotent? What is your answer? Okay, the answer is pluripotent. Next, embryonic stem cell come from a 7 to 8-day-old embryo. They have the ability to form virtually any type of cell found in the human body. What is your answer? Is it true or false? Okay, let's see. It's false. Next, adult stem cells are undifferentiated cells found among specialized or differentiated cells in a tissue or organ after birth. Is it true or false? Okay, let's find out. What is your answer? It is true. Okay, let's continue our discussion. So we're going to have a discussion about stem cell therapy and how does it help in human diseases. Okay, stem cell therapy is the use of stem cells to treat or prevent a disease or condition. So just imagine a disease. So we can prevent them, we can avoid them by using stem cell. So, and also, pwede din natin namang makatulong ang stem cell, kumbaga, kapag available na yung sakit sa tao. We can create or prevent or avoid and help human to continue life through the use of stem cell. It is also known as regenerative medicine, promotes the reparative response of disease, dysfunctional or injured tissue using stem cells or their derivatives. It is next chapter of organ transplantation and uses cells instead of donor organs which are limited in supply. So katulad nga po ng sinabi ko kanina po, marami po kasing instances na kakaunti yung mga organ donor natin. So just because of stem cell, we were able to create a cell or tissue na pwede nating pamalit dito sa mga mga may sakit nating tao. So, hindi na natin kailangan maghanap pa ng mga organ donor if we have the stem cell. The sad part lang is that mas mahal kasi ang stem cell kaysa sa mga organ donor. Mas costly siya kasi po, ito po yung way kung saan mas marami kasi mga private investors ang nagke-create nito or nagmamanipulate. Okay? At hindi tulad po nitong ating mga natural medicine na ginagawa. Okay? How stem cell therapy works? When stem cells are transplanted into the body and arrive into the injured part, the brain being targeted for tissue regeneration. The stem cells are coming in contact with growth chemicals like EGFs, NGFs, and HGFs in the body. This chemical program the stem cell to differentiate into the tissue surrounding it. Okay, what are those diseases cured by stem cell therapy? We have the spinal cord injuries, diabetes mellitus, cancer, stroke, tooth implanting, deafness and blindness, and baldness. Okay, let's us first how does stem cell help in our spinal cord injuries. So the stem cells are first collected from a patient bone marrow, extracted from the hip bone, then implanted back into the body. So meaning to say, sarili mong bone marrow being extracted in your hip bone, i-regenerate, aayusin ng ating mga doctors or expertise, and then later on, ibabalik sa iyo. So, these reinjection stem cell have the potential to transform into multiple types of cell and are capable of regenerating damaged tissues. How about leukemia and cancer? Studies show leukemia patients treated with stem cell emerge free of disease. Injections of stem cell have also reduced pancreatic cancer in some patients. In heart diseases, adult bone marrow stem cell injected into the heart arteries are believed to improve cardiac function in victims of heart failure or heart attack. While in tissue repair, regenerate spinal cord, heart tissue, or any other major tissue in the body. And how about type 1 diabetes? So, through the use of stem cell, pancreatic cells do not produce insulin. So, basic research focuses on understanding how embryonic stem cell might be trained to become pancreatic islet cells needed to secrete insulin. While how about baldness po, yung paghalimbawa po ay nauubos na po yung mga buhok. So, through the use of stem cell, hair follicles also contain stem cell, and some researchers predict research on these follicle stem cell may lead to successes in treating baldness through hair multiplication, also known as hair cloning. So, just imagine yung nagiging problema ng ating mga halimbawa po, mga kaibigan, so ating mga tito at tita. So, we also have ideas kung paano po ba masosolusyonan yung mga problemang ito. Okay? Treatment is expected to work through taking stem cell from existing follicles, multiplying them in a culture, and implanting the new follicles into scalp. So, paano po ginagawa? Kukuhanin sa sarili noong patient na yon yung kanyang hair follicles, then i-cultivate ng ating mga doctors, and then later on, i-implant natin sa kanyang scalp again. Next, how does it help tooth implanting sa may problema sa mga ngipin? Stem cell taken from the patient could be coaxed in the lab into turning into a tooth bud, which, when implanted in the gums, will give rise to a new tooth. It will fuse with the jawbone and release chemicals that encourage nerves and blood vessels to connect with it. How about deafness and blindness? So, dati po, basta nabulag, basta nabingi, we are nagkakaroon na tayo ng mga false hope. Nawawala na tayo ng chances na maniwala na gagaling. But because of this, there has been success in regrowing cornea, sensory hair cells with the use of stem cell. Using embryonic stem cells, scientists are able to grow a thin sheet of totipotent stem cell in the laboratory. When these sheets are transplanted over the damaged retina, the stem cells stimulate renewed repair, eventually restoring vision. So as you can see, through the use of stem cell, ang dami nating sakit na pwedeng magamot. But the important thing is that, or the sad part is that, we're still going on development on progress. Kasi nga po, mga private investor ang nagfa-fund pa sa paggawa ng stem cell, the reason why napakamahal niya. And also, marami sa mga ibang bansa ang nag-stem cell therapy para po mga bumata. Kasi po, the most or the characteristic of stem cell is to regenerate the cell. So, kapag nire-regenerate yung ating cell, kapag ito ay nire-repair, nagkakaroon ng repairment in our body, kaya po medyo ang mga nag-under stem cell ay nagiging bata ang pakiramdam. Okay? Next is that, have stem cell already been used to treat diseases? The answer is yes. Doctors have performed stem cell transplant, also known as bone marrow transplant. In stem cell transplant, stem cells replace cell damage by chemotherapy or as a way for the doctor's immune system to fight some types of cancer and blood-related diseases. This transplant use adult stem cells. Researchers are testing adult stem cells to treat other conditions, including a number of degenerative diseases such as heart failure. So, meaning to say, mas kilala po ang stem cell into the bone marrow transplant. So, mas common po siyang tawagin when it comes to sa mga medicinal what do we mean by that? So, kapag sinasabi pong most especially, mas kilala ang stem cell sa tinatawag nating bone marrow transplant, and mas marami po ang nag-a-undergo sa experiment sa mga processes na ganito. Next, let's talk about the tissue of stem cell therapy, politics, and the society. Okay? In August 9, 2001, Bush announced federal funds could only be used to study human embryonic stem cell lines that already existed. So, meaning to say, Bush do not allow na magkaroon pa ng another vitro fertilization, so mga clone DNA. So, kung ano na lang po yung nandoon, yun na lang po ang gagamitin. Then, all other stem cell research done with the use of private funding. So, the reason lagi kong pinauulit sa inyo na napaka-cozy or medyo mahal itong tinatawag nating stem cell. Kasi mga private investors ang nag-i-invest para magkaroon dito. While other countries stand on stem cell research. The UK in 2001 made it legal to create cloned human embryo for use in medical research in using therapeutic cloning to have disease, and scientists and only use eggs from fertilization clinic that did not fertilize when we mix with sperm. Therefore, the eggs are not as good as they could be. Okay? How about in Asia and Sweden? South Korea, Sweden, and Singapore are all moving forward on stem cell researches. So, meaning to say, nandun na pa tayo sa progress or pagkakaroon pa ng mga research pag-aaral sa kung ano bang naitutulong ng stem cell. Singapore is becoming the biggest competition in the international race because they allow the therapeutic cloning but ban reproductive cloning. Therefore, scientists worldwide are going to Singapore to work. Okay. Also, this is the issue about ethics. Issue about stem cell. We're talking about ethics. So, how far can we go with this? Is it morally right? Because of too much indication in the stem cell, marami po kasing mga tao ang nagkakaroon ng idea na kapag halimbawa naging aborted, pwede nilang i-offer yung mga aborted babies to get the stem cell. So, nagkakaroon ba ng is it morally right na magkaroon tayo ng artificial cloning DNA of different organism just to get the stem cell na meron sila? Is it okay or is it morally right na pag-aralan natin yung mga bodies ng tao in order for us to cure such diseases? So, kaya po nagkakaroon ng debate about this. Kasi po, masyado nang pinapakaalaman ni human kung ano yung kung ano yung natural. Next is that the most important question is, are human playing God? Because of too much inclined or too much indication in science and technology, nagkakaroon na po ng so much independent ang mga tao. Okay? Dahil nga po through science and technology, it is giving us everything that we wanted. Nakakatulong siya sa ating mga food production, nakakatulong siya doon sa mga curing of diseases. But the question is that, are humans playing God? Kasi we are creating another organism na ginagamit lang natin to continue our life. So, kaya po, medyo dikit siya kung ethically or morally right ba tong mga ginagawa natin. So, because of science and technology, nothing is impossible. The idea is that, kailan tayo? We should know when to stop kapag sumusobra na ang tao. Okay? So, ito pong ating topic for today is that, even though alam na natin itong science and technology, even though napapakita na sa atin ang kagandahan, kailangan pa rin po nating i-balance kung ano yung tama at kung ano yung mali. Okay? Also, there are parts na bakit po ba kailangan nating mag-under of science and technology subject? Because marami na kasing diseases na available sa paligid. Okay? So, pwede tayo mag-recommend. Alam natin na ganito, makakatulong to sa sakit na ito, katulad ng cancer, ng stroke, heart failure. So, we can give advices to those people na meron tayong available na stem cell. Meron tayong different kinds of idea na pwedeng makatulong sa kanila in order for them to continue their lives. Kasi nga po, because of science and technology, binibigyan natin sila ng hope na magkaroon ng i-continue their lives. Okay? So, in other words, stem cell help us in many ways. Okay? Nakakatulong siya sa maraming paraan, but kailangan pa rin natin tignan, kaya po researches pa rin, stem cell research, kasi po nagkakaroon pa rin po medyo ng negative part. Kasi po merong isang instances kung saan isang patient is nagpaturok ng stem cell sa kanyang mata and then later on tuluyang nabulag. Meron naman din pong kaso or cases kung saan nagkaroon or nagpa-extract ng bone marrow para magkaroon ng regeneration and then later on, nung ibinalik na yung stem cell, nagkaroon po ng problema, nagkaroon ng tumor because you are entering a foreign cell in your body. Kasi minsan po kapag halimbawa po hindi na kaya nung bone marrow na meron yung patient, and then ang kababagsakan, hahanap siya ng bone marrow sa ibang organism dun sa mga fetuses or the available sources of stem cell. Then later on, pag nilagay mo, wala kasing 100% na yun ay tatalab because you are entering a foreign, hindi ibang cell galing sa ibang organism. The reason nagkakaroon siya ng medyo 50-50 na resulta. Okay? So, that is our topic for today. And thank you so much, everyone.